Today I'm going to show you guys how to make chicken broth in roasters. So every year we raise some meat birds. Ella shows them at the fair. The boys have done so in the past also. So when we do that, if we part them out, then we'll save that backbone and those extra bones in bags and just pop them in the freezer until we have enough to make chicken broth. This year we did a different type of bird, so we froze all of ours whole. So as we cooked them and used them, then we saved the carcasses just the same, put them in freezer bags until we have enough to do some like we do today. I did actually even bring the turkey carcass home from Thanksgiving this year. So there's that. So we're going to use that in there as well. So we just pulled them out of the freezer, and you just kind of want a single layer of this, so you don't really want to pour too many or put too many in. So that's why we're going to do 2 roasters today. I don't think I've ever done 2 roasters at a time. So we had more in the freezer, and it's kind of been a long overdue process, or something that needed to be done. You know, obviously something on my to-do list for the winter. We had a sick kid the last couple days, and my odd motherly instinct was the first thing before we went and got him was to grab some chicken broth out of the freezer and get it thawing out so he could have it when he got home, because you know that was gonna cure him instantly. And actually when he came home, he did have some that helped, and so I thought, all right, we got to get this done. So I pulled all the bags out this morning, and we're going to get them going in the 2 different roasters. Hopefully that's not overdoing it, because there's quite a bit. We just basically want to have enough room in here to add water, because obviously that's, you know, it's going to cook down, and that's what's making that broth. So we want to have water in, enough room to have water in there. And probably thawing these out a little bit ahead of time, you know, would help kind of move that stuff around also, but such is life. All right. So we'll just kind of break those up, and obviously you wouldn't have to do 2 roasters at once. If you only have 1, you could do this, you know, over a couple different times, but we're just gonna get them all done today because we have 2 roasters. One I actually picked up years ago at a yard sale, brand new in the box for like 20 bucks. So we used that one a ton, and then we had this older one that was a hand-me-down. That's a little bit smaller, but it's kind of nice for lots of different things to have 2 on hand. So when you're making chicken broth, you can add in, to make it like a stock, you can add in vegetables, seasonings, that kind of thing. Typically I would add in some celery, but we don't have any of that, and I'm not going to drive to town just for celery. So we're going to go ahead and just throw in some carrots that we had in the fridge. There's not a ton, but that's okay too. Then we're going to have onions. So with the onions, you want the skin on, because that's what's going to give that nice dark color. Cut off any bad spots, leave that skin on, and then just, it doesn't have to be, you know, be perfectly cubed or anything, just a couple big chunks. Throw that skin in there. I told someone the other day, making these cooking videos brings back memories of 4-H days when we had to do our demonstrations and stand up there and do all of our cooking talks and that sort of thing. So I guess that's coming into good practice as I've started doing these, because public speaking has never been my thing. So it's good practice, I suppose. That. And another thing that we're going to throw in today is some bay leaves. So just a couple of those, 2 or 3 in each one. And then black peppercorns. You can do minced garlic too. Okay. And then another thing that you want to put in there is white vinegar, because This brings out the nutrients and the flavors in the bones. So just a couple glugs in there. And then from there, we're going to move it over where we're going to have the roasters actually plugged in, because this is going to be in there for 2 days. So you're going to want to put them somewhere that are going to be out of the way, but you can still access them to stir them up and kind of keep an eye on the water level and that sort of thing. So we are going to actually add the water once we have them in there, because they're going to get heavy. So
after being in the roasters for about 48 hours, I started straining everything out, the bones and all the meat and the leftover carrots and that sort of thing, basically until we got down to just the pure broth. So that is kind of quite the mess when you have that much to work with. You have to have, enough containers to strain it into and then bring it down into the jars. I do freeze my broth. It's just something simple. I do not own a pressure canner. Maybe someday that's something that I will learn and not be so afraid of, but for now, we simply throw it in the freezer. We ended up getting 18 quarts of chicken broth out of it, and it's gonna last us for quite some time. We did, however, break into about 4 to 5 jars right away and made some homemade chicken noodle soup, because we have been passing around this wonderful spring cold that got this whole thing started. So that's been really nice to have in the fridge and just warm up as we need it. Thank you guys so much for joining us again today, and we hope everyone is happy and healthy wherever you may be from.